On December 13th, 1984, Soviet and American citizens were linked by television satellite for the first space bridge between San Francisco and Moscow.
I think this evening was absolutely extraordinary. The camaraderie between the two nations, the singing, the sense that peace can be a reality with people working together is very, very real. It's an extraordinary use of technology.
I think I felt the best about the reciprocity with the Russian people that were there and the response of the doctors. Both the doctors seemed to make such outstanding comments. I was excited.
Жизнь должна продолжаться. Раз должна продолжаться, то, соответственно, единственная возможность мышления, то, чтобы все думали так. Не только мы, не только русские, но все люди на земле.
I just wish that President Reagan and every other politician in the world were watching this tonight, because there's hope for us all.
The feeling that we are all one, and the waving and the singing just seem to bring that feeling together on a human level.
People to people. I think for the first time, the Russian people saw the people in America, and, very naturally, not politicians, but people.
Его поддерживают все народы, не только наших двух стран, но и всех стран мира. И, конечно же, это будет способствовать делу мира.
Everybody in the Soviet Union and in the United States felt the great joy and the need for peace, because if they don't have peace, well then I'm not going to have a world to grow up in, and I really wanted to have a life, so I really think it was a real great thing.
And I should say that I'm so excited that I even cannot find the proper words to express all my feelings, that it was a great event, and I think a lot of people in the audience, and I'm sure all the participants have the same feelings, that we have to work together.
You could feel that connection, when we were waving, and just the hope that we will be able to build a world beyond war. We can do it.
Eternal space has drawn its children to itself. There, far removed from the familiar, the brotherhood of Soviet and American is sealed. Out there, is it easier to see that we are one? Tonight, people of the United States and the Soviet Union join together in the Beyond War Space Bridge to honor a unique worldwide organization, the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War.
Hello and welcome. I am Richard Rathbun, and as president of the Creative Initiative Foundation, it is my privilege to host this evening's second annual Beyond War Award presentation. The Beyond War Award is presented to honor the great achievements of humankind as we work together to build a world beyond war. Today we honor the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Today, we don't have to travel great distances to greet each other, and we don't have to travel out to the far reaches of space to shake hands. Today we are going to let our voices and our images do the traveling for us. In just a few moments on these screens, images that have traveled 88,000 miles through space, 141,000 kilometers, will arrive here from halfway around the world. And we don't establish this link only because the physicians who are receiving the award live half a world apart, but also to prove that our two distant nations can indeed work together in an act of cooperation to build a world beyond war. And now it is time to complete this space bridge by bringing Moscow to San Francisco. And because it is tomorrow morning in Moscow, we will say, "Good morning, Moscow. We welcome you to San Francisco."
Good.
Vladimir Posner.
Спасибо, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. We have something to say to you, too.
Moscow, we would all like to say good morning to you. So everybody together, Dobraya Utra Moskva. The recipient of the 1984 Beyond War Award is the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. The presentation will be made to the founders of that great organization, Dr. Chazov in the Soviet Union, and with us here in San Francisco this evening is Dr. Bernard Lamb. Dr. Leon is a professor of cardiology at Harvard University. And back to Moscow for Vladimir to introduce Dr. Chazov.
I have the honor and pleasure of presenting academician Evgeny Ivanovich Chazov, who will, on our side, receive the award from the organization on behalf of International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Dr. Chazov.
We have these little cues worked out so we know when it's coming. This event The presentation of the Beyond War Award is one beginning step in the process of building a world beyond war. And what do we know about a world beyond war? We don't know what it will look like exactly, but we do know a good deal about how to get there. Don Fitton is going to describe to us the building of a world beyond war. Don Fitton is a father, an educator, a businessman who left that career to devote all of his time and all of his energies to discovering and building a world beyond war. Don Fitton is one of the founders of the Beyond War movement. Mr. Don Fitton.
Tonight in San Francisco, this morning in Moscow, we are experiencing the fact that the spirit of humankind knows no bounds. We are able to see and hear and be present to one another over vast distances. Let us determine together to safeguard and extend the new positive possibility now at hand. Let us intensify our joint efforts to build a realistic foundation for a bridge of goodwill between our two peoples. Certainly that bridge is symbolized by this bridge in space, at which we all marvel. With this electronic possibility already realized, and our mutual knowledge of what truth will do, let us relentlessly pursue and find the way to work together to build a world beyond war. Together we can discover the way. The Beyond War movement is a reality. The truth is known that if we are to survive, it must be global survival. The truth of what that means is known. We must coexist and respect the ways of other people. The essence of a world beyond war is that this is one planet and all people live because of the life support system which we cherish and which we share. Air, water, sun, earth, animals, flowers, and most precious of all, people. People will determine. All those who work for a world beyond war are determined, and we are answering the most important immediate question of all. Can the American people and the Soviet people work together? The answer is obviously yes. It is the destiny of these two great nations to move the world beyond war. The world is waiting for us to do it. The world will rejoice as this process gains momentum. The questions that come sharp and cutting through the human mind now are, will we keep faith with life? Will we have the vision to assure the future? Can we face the fact that we, in this generation, we are the generation that can end beauty and love and children and the future and all of life? And having asked ourselves these crucial questions, will we make the compassionate, the sane choice? And we can make no mistake of it. We are being forced to choose. The requirement now, at this new opening in history, is that all be included. We must look at the whole world, and we cannot see the world today without agony. The starving, the miserable, the sick among our fellow humans. If we will really look at the world, we will suffer. This has always been the price of seeing. The question is whether we will turn this power to suffer into synergy the power to transmit our energy, our hope, and our courage, because we will not consider anyone alien from ourselves, and then extend our faith and hope and charity to everything that lives. Our capacity to share our bounty is handicapped only by our ignorance, the ignorance of our limited identification, restrictions of limited ideas, private, limited frames of reference, boundaries in our mind that stop a global view. The human spirit has never known boundaries. We must now take advantage of this deepest part of our human nature and change the way we think about all war, about the way we resolve conflict in order to survive. The meaning of Beyond War, the giving of this award, the actions and accomplishments of those whom we honor tonight, all validate the dynamic movement of the human spirit away from the insanity of mutual suicide and toward a new global mutual respect and a cooperative attempt to save our world. There is no other cause, no other claim being made on the individual today that can equal this one. We must now consecrate our time, our talent, our resources to the benefit of all humankind.
We have a videotape presentation that we will watch that will give a little history of the IPPNW. We would like you to see through videotape what they have accomplished.
When the first atomic bombs fell, nearly everything was destroyed, including the hospitals and doctors needed to treat the many victims of this devastation. Physicians noted with alarm their impotence in the face of this new weapon. Today's nuclear arsenals are the equivalent of 1 million Hiroshimas. Today's doctors understand that the only prescription for a nuclear war is prevention. So began the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. Dr. Bernard Lown, professor of cardiology at the Harvard School of Public Health, and Dr. Eugene Chazov, director of the Soviet Cardiological Institute, met with a small group of Soviet and American physicians. Representing the superpowers and the entire profession of healers, they formed the IPPNW.
And the failure of the members of the nuclear club.
The IPPNW held its first international conference in Virginia. A surprising number of physicians came from around the world to join in this courageous effort.
I remember. 2
years after the formation of the IPPNW, Soviet and American physicians gathered in a Moscow television studio, where they discussed the medical effects of nuclear war. This program was aired unedited to over 50 million Soviet television viewers, and was later broadcast on U.S. public television.
You told me that when you arrived in Moscow, you decided to find out if our movement was well known in the Soviet Union. So you ask a taxi driver if he had heard about this movement.
3 out of 4 taxi drivers in Moscow have heard of the IPPNW. No.
Yes, so you see, it is not difficult for me to appear on television here to tell people that we must work for nuclear disarmament, because our nation has suffered war and knows its horrors. Today, the nuclear arms race has become a heavy burden for mankind, for medicine too. If all the money being spent today on missiles, submarines, and aircrafts were used for medical purposes, just think how much good we could be doing for the health of the people of the world.
Right now, we could solve the problem that in the United States and the Soviet Union is the leading cause of death. As we are talking here, every minute in the United States and the Soviet Union, someone dies suddenly from heart disease.
Well, I think it is quite clear. If the money spent today on the nuclear arms race were spent for education, medicine, culture, then mankind would be prospering.
This was the first Soviet television program ever shown on American TV, and it remains a testament to the unique ability of physicians to spread this important message. By 1983, the hard work was well underway. Studies concerning subjects like the effects of the arms race on children were being conducted, and a number of books about the medical effects of nuclear war were published. A special appeal, eventually signed by almost 1/4 of the world's doctors, was sent to leaders of the nuclear states. In one working session, IPPNW members agreed to amend the ancient Hippocratic Oath to reflect the new danger that nuclear weapons present to life. As a physician of the 20th century, I recognize that nuclear weapons have presented my profession with a challenge of unprecedented proportions, and that a nuclear war would be the final epidemic for humankind. I will do all in my power to work for the prevention of nuclear war. Today, there are over 100,000 physicians in the IPPNW. Doctors from Dresden and Des Moines, Kiev and Cairo, Nairobi and Hiroshima have joined together to help prevent nuclear war.
All medical students and all people from healthcare should be involved to stop the preparing a nuclear war.
My husband and myself, we started the Irish medical campaign for the prevention of nuclear war. And it's going from strength to strength since then.
This Congress has special meaning for me to convey the mind of Avon sufferers to all doctors all over the world.
In my position as a Minister of Health and Social Affairs, I think that we have to strengthen peace anywhere, everywhere.
United by a common goal, these physicians have overcome their political and cultural differences. They know that people working together can and will change the world.
We wish you, my friend.
Yes.
Well.
Yes. See you later.
До свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания.
We feel especially honored to have you two great physicians as the recipients of this award. By this occasion, we honor you, each participating member of your organization personally, and the entire International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. We feel you, Dr. Chazov, and you, Dr. Lown, and your fellow physicians are making a profound contribution to bringing this dream of peace into reality. By our presence here to honor you, we declare that we are all joining with you in determination to prevent nuclear war, and we will continue to work with you to bring a constant peace. Dr. Bernard Lown is a professor of cardiology at the Harvard School of Public Health. Dr. Lown is a great cardiologist. He is a great scientist, and he is a great teacher. But most importantly, Dr. Lown is a great humanitarian. Dr. Lown is a true physician who loves people and who loves life. Dr. Lown, would you please come forward to receive the Beyond War Award?
Mr. Rathbun, Mr. Boone, Mr. Posner, participants in the space bridge, colleagues and friends in Moscow and San Francisco, members of the Physicians for Social Responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of more than 100,000 physicians worldwide who are actively engaged in struggling against the nuclear peril, Dr. Chazov and I accept with gratitude and humility this extraordinary award. The Beyond War movement and IPPNW share a common goal: to educate the widest public in order to foster a new way of thinking. Last week, I was in Moscow and talked with my friends who are leaders of the IPPNW movement, planning our next Congress in Budapest this June. It took me more than 10 hours to return to my home in Boston, and now, through the magical qualities of science, a far greater distance, as you have heard, is traversed in a few seconds. But we must honestly confront the bitter fact that the misapplication of science and technology have brought us microseconds away from unparalleled disaster. The aching longing for peace has been the most noble and yet elusive aspiration of humankind. It has been intoned prayerfully by people since the very dawn of history. Yet in 5,500 years of recorded history, less than 300 have been free of war. No disease, no pestilence, no plague have claimed as many lives. That great Swedish lady and Nobel laureate, Alva Myrdal, who spent a good part of her life in arms control negotiations, stated recently that if the world continues on its present course, we will not live to see the year 2000, which is a mere 16 years away. The contemplation of nuclear war has entrapped us in a sense of helplessness and terror, with the adversary transformed into an implacable foe 10 feet tall and omnipotent. At the very dawn of the nuclear age, the great physicist P.M.S. Blackett anticipated this state of mind when he said, and I quote, "Once a nation bases its security on the absolute weapon such as the atom bomb, it becomes psychologically necessary to believe in an absolute enemy." End of quote. The imagined enemy is eventually extruded from the human family and reduced to an inanimate object whose annihilation loses all moral dimension. However, all is not bleak and hopeless. As you have already heard, a measure of optimism is to be gained from the activities of groups like Beyond War and the Physicians' Movement. In the brief time of our existence, we have persuaded millions of people to confront for the first time the unthinkable reality of nuclear war. We have exposed to public view the litany of horrors resulting from blast, fire, and radiation. We have persuaded many that there can be no useful medical response. We have demonstrated the sheer deception implicit in civil defense planning. We have provided persuasive data that nuclear war would constitute the ultimate human and ecologic disaster. While as yet not a single major nuclear weapon system has been dismantled, we have nonetheless had a profound effect on the political process. No longer does one hear about the possibility of keeping nuclear war limited, nor is there discourse about winning such a confrontation. The subject of civil defense has become a butt for social satire. Perhaps the most important contribution of the physicians' movement is the free-flowing dialogue that has been promoted between colleagues in the two contending power blocks. We have refused to be bogged down in debating political differences. We have resisted being sidetracked to other issues, irrespective of how persuasive or morally lofty. Combating the nuclear threat has been our total and exclusive preoccupation. The enemy is neither capitalism nor communism, but these genocidal nuclear weapons. We have aimed to promote a medical and scientific dialogue that rises above the partisanship of nationhood and hews to the commonality of our shared and fragile humanity. One key ingredient has been underemphasized in discussion of the nuclear threat. This relates to the moral dimension of man. How is it possible that we have acquiesced to stockpiling of weapons of mass extermination as the guarantors of our security? Why have we permitted the search for peace through overt flirtation with death? Brooding over this issue for more than 20 years, I have been inexorably led to the conviction that without exciting moral outrage among the intended victims, which includes all of us, the dismantling of nuclear weapons will not succeed. Only an unprecedented arousal of moral revulsion will provide the spiritual energy to confront successfully this unprecedented challenge. Where is our sense of moral outrage? When the crime is small, we are still capable of responding with shock and anger. But our morality shrinks when the planned murder encompasses entire nations. 2 billion people have now been held hostage for their lives for nearly 2 decades, threatening extinction of their past and aborting their right to a future. Where is the outcry? The idea of pointing nuclear-tipped missiles at entire nations is without precedent in moral depravity. We must break out of the stranglehold of conditioned responses and habitual modes of thinking. Nuclear war is a term of deception. It is not war. Nuclear bombs are not weapons, but instruments of genocide. nuclear war between the superpowers will be the most brutal verdict yet rendered against humankind, an incomprehensible act of collective suicide. Ultimately, we must come to terms with the fact that this struggle is not between different national destinies, between opposing ideologies, but rather between catastrophe and survival. We and the Russians and the Soviet people have a linked human destiny. Nuclear weapons are a shared mortal enemy. We either live together or die together. There is no other alternative. Ours is a tiny planet in a small galaxy at the edge of an incomprehensibly boundless universe. The extinction of our young species will create not the slightest ripple in the massive space-time continuum. We are but transient passengers on this planet Earth. It does not belong to us. We're not free to doom generations yet unborn. We are not at liberty to erase humanity's past or dim its future. Social systems do not endure for an eternity. Only life can lay claim to uninterrupted continuity. This continuity is sacred. We physicians who shepherd human life from birth to death are aware of the resiliency, the creativeness, and the courage that human beings possess. We have an abiding faith in the concept that what humanity creates, humanity can control. This perception provides optimistic purpose in reversing the direction of humankind's potential tragic destiny. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bernard Lown. And now we will go back to Moscow.
I would like to present to our audience in Moscow and in San Francisco our guest who will award the prize here in Moscow, a person who has devoted all of his free time to the cause of peace, Winston Boone.
Dr. Chazov is a very great and internationally known scientist. He is a full member of the USSR Academy of Sciences. He is a member of the USSR Academy of Medical Sciences. He is the Director General of the USSR Cardiological Research Center. For 10 years, he has been in the Supreme Soviet. Dr. Chazov, we are honored and privileged to present to you this second annual award from Beyond War as you represent the International Physicians for Prevention of Nuclear War. Thank you very much.
Distinguished Dr. Rathbun, Dr. Boone, dear colleagues and friends, for every person on our planet, there is no greater award than the recognition of his contribution to the preservation of peace on Earth. That is why I would like to be allowed, in behalf of the Soviet physicians who are participants in the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War, to express our great gratitude to your committee for the great honor you have bestowed on us. I, like Professor Lown, am a cardiologist, and every day we listen to the beating of the hearts of our fellow countrymen. I will try now to reproduce how the heart of a healthy Russian beats. This is what the heart of a healthy Russian sounds like. And this is also how the heart of a healthy American sounds. You see that they beat in exactly the same way. Their rhythms, their desires for happiness are the same. You can hear their desire for happiness, their desire for love, for well-being. But all of this can occur, however, only when on our earth we have peace. And that is why we, as physicians, by virtue of the Hippocratic Oath, are called upon to protect the life and the health of our patients and of our peoples, and thus cannot forget the threat which exists to their lives today because of the existence on the earth of millions of atom bombs, because of the nuclear arms race, because of the existence and prevalence of a nuclear illusion. We all have joined our forces into a single international movement on the understanding that no one better than us doctors knows what a nuclear war is and what it would do to humanity, and that is why we hate it so much. Albert Einstein stated that in order to live in the modern world, we must develop strict criteria of thought, and these criteria can only be truth, courage, and honor. Let us look the truth in the face, and our precise scientific data will tell us that if there is a nuclear war, 2 billion will perish on the earth. Civilization will perish. The atmosphere will be changed. The climate will be changed. There will even be a question as to whether life itself could survive. Let us be courageous and let us recognize that either we will live together on our beautiful planet or we will die together in the flames of a nuclear war. Let us be honest with ourselves and let us ensure that our words will not deviate from our deeds. Let us destroy the nuclear illusion that there could be a limited nuclear war, that it could be possible to survive a nuclear war, or even be victorious in a nuclear war. We are very glad that our ideas and our desires have met with understanding and widespread support by the public and in political and religious circles, that they correspond to the aspirations of the peoples of the East and the West. Today, in talking about the necessity of prohibiting the testing of nuclear weapons and of ending the nuclear arms race and preventing the militarization of space, we are thinking not only of the health of our patients and of our peoples, we are thinking also of the futures of our children and our grandchildren. We understand this, and others understand it as well. an American schoolgirl from the state of Ohio, Camilla Taylor, who collected 3,800 signatures on an appeal to prevent nuclear war, wrote in her letter to me how happy she was to know that in the USSR, the children there agree with me. In one popular Soviet song, which our children sing, there are the following words: let there always be a sun, let there always be a sky, let there always be a mama, and let there always be a me. Once again, please, Mr. Boone, let me thank you for this very high honor you have conferred upon me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chazov. Thank you, Dr. Chazov.
Thank you, Dr. Chazov, and thank you, Dr. Lown. Let us make this event one which draws the people in our two nations closer together. As we have traveled these great distances across time and space by this space bridge, we will, as it is often a custom for travelers to do, present each other with gifts. And the form of the gifts this evening are the gifts of music, the gifts which speak across language barriers and are so often gifts from the heart. The first gift will come to us here in San Francisco from Moscow, from Zhana Bishevskaya, who is one of the most popular folk singers in the Soviet Union. So we will go to Moscow and Zhana.
Hello, our dear American friends. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls, pick them, everyone. When will they have a love? When will they have a love? Где все девушки, скажи, их не вижу. Провожать они пошли путь парней. Где все девушки, скажи, их не вижу. Прощаются они с парнями летним днем. Ты скажи мне, парни, где солдаты? Не пришли они домой летним днем. Ну вот где они теперь? Те солдаты погибли на войне, лежат в земле сырой. Да, я знаю, где цветы, где все марки на могилах солдат, где цветы. Да, я знаю, где цветы, где все маки горят, горят они, как вечные огни. Where have all the graveyards gone? time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Covered with flowers, everyone. When will they have alone? When will they have alone?
Thank you, Zhana. That was a beautiful gift that you brought us from Moscow in the form of music. And now we offer you a gift of music. And here to present it for us is Etta James, a fabulous, famous American singer of jazz and rock, Paul Winter, who will be accompanied by Paul Halley, and they are going to play a beautiful song, The Blue-Green Hills of Earth, which was inspired by an astronaut returning home to the Earth and is deepened in its soul by Paul Winter's love of this planet and all the forms of life it contains. Paul Winter. Accompanying Paul Winter are going to be the San Francisco Boys Chorus, whom we are especially pleased to have here with us at this event this evening, because to us, they represent the future. And to you in Moscow, Vladimir, to introduce the Gostel Radio Chorus.
Thank you very much. I'd like to present the Sveshnikov Children's Chorus and the large children's chorus of the Moscow State Radio and Television. Some of them are still asleep, but those who agreed to come are going to sing for you and accompanying Zhana Gushevskaya.
Thank you finally to all the people of Gosteleradio and to the people of the Soviet Union who have lent this evening significance. Thank you to all the technicians and everybody who has made this happen. We can work together and we will work together to build a world beyond war.